Hi, I'm Ron DNA. Thanks for joining my channel. This reading is for the sign of Taurus, and it's for May 26th to about June 11th, which is the Sagittarian full moon. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I've been away for a long time, and I'm very sorry about that. But it was necessary to get things in order, and now I'm back doing readings full time. Come back daily, as a new sign will be posted daily during the week. And I hope you enjoy this reading. So before we start, let us connect to our higher self. And I do this by putting my hand out, resting my hand out on a table surface, not on the table surface, but above the table surface, and saying out loud, and please join me, connecting to my higher self now. And breathe in deeply. Now, do you give me permission to connect to your higher self? And if you have, thank you very much. So now we're going to create a golden circle of protection around us, so that the only messages we receive are from our higher selves, in line with their wishes. It is commanded in the name of the golden liquid realms and alchemical powers that this session be encircled by a golden protection orb of ultimate harmony, so that only the messages received are from our higher selves, in line with our higher selves' wishes. Now, Taeja and Tadoa. Okay, so as you feel the energy is coming underneath your palm, and as it goes quantum, it's going to go underneath your wrist and through your arm, and that means that the magic circle of protection is being created as we are starting the session. Okay, so for the next 15 days, let's say it's May 27th today, not 26th, May 27th until June 11th. All right, we have a delay. There is a delay for Taurus. There's been a difficult situation. Perhaps this is the retard card, and this is the misfortune. Okay, so there's been a delay, and it has caused a misfortune in your life. So this is the Oracle de Belin, and it basically gives a general theme of this reading to allow us to focus on what is important, or what messages you should receive about your reading. Okay, so there's been a loss of some kind, or you've discovered a loss of some kind. And this loss could have been around a promise that was made. The loss is the Volpert. This is the card of loss. Yeah. And the promise is the future. In the future, there was a promise, or somebody made a promise that in the future they would do something with you or be with you. And it looks like it's emotional. So it has to do with your love life in some way. And perhaps someone promised to come back, or they promise you something in love. And you've discovered a loss around this promise. So perhaps someone has broken a promise, or they haven't come back the way they should have, or when they should have. And this could cause you kind of a misfortune. So the misfortune could be depression, it could be a feeling of loss, of grief, a feeling of, things not going your way. So this is more the past, and now we're moving into the present and the future. And currently, you feel blocked. So this is the card of blockage, and it says, you're blocked, and you. However, its opposite is the God card. So your higher self is saying, your blockage is necessary at this point. You need to stay still. Something that you're learning is meant to be looked at more closely. And if you were moving around and very busy, then you wouldn't perhaps learn what you're supposed to learn. So we're going to ask you to stay still while this is happening. However, socially, on the other hand, so there's a yin and yang here, it's a Celtic cross. So socially, on the other hand, there seems to be a departure. So perhaps you have felt blocked, unable to move around, unable to make any choices, but your higher power is coming in and saying, socially you're being invited to a lot of different events, to a lot of different occasions, a lot of different parties, and perhaps it's time for you to leave your house and go to those places and change your mind, okay? And, accept any invitation that comes your way as a necessary invitation that you would like to receive. Now, we continue with the future. In the very near future, okay, there seems to have been a family situation, or your home life your home life seems to be a very positive, right? And you are at peace over a change that has occurred, or a tower moment that has happened in the past, or very, very recently. And your family is going to be very happy, or you are going to be very happy where you're going to end up. It's a very positive card. These are positive cards, yeah, and they outweigh the tower moment. The tower moment is a kind of sudden change. It can be a very positive card if it's surrounded by positive cards, and it can be a very negative card if it's surrounded by negative cards. In this case, this is the only negative card, and it's surrounded by positive cards. So, your family home you're going to be at peace around it. There's a change that's occurring. Obviously, you need to depart and go out and do other things. You've had a loss. There's been a delay. You felt blocked. You've lost something. You've lost a promise. Maybe a contract was broken, because this could also indicate a contract was broken in some way, and that you discovered this contract was broken, and then it's like, oh, okay, great. Things couldn't go any worse, and then they keep going worse. Well, okay, this is saying no. That's it. You've reached the end of this negative cycle, and there's going to be peace at the end of it, and you're going to be all right. So let's redraw, because that's quite detailed what I've just said, and keep going to find out what it is for Taurus that is happening between May 27th and June 11th. If you just give me a moment to reset up. And I'm going to, again, this is a different deck, another Oracle of Bena, a newer deck. And the reason why I am doing that is because the energy shifts from question to question, and instead of using the same pack of cards to ask a different question and perhaps get the same answer that I got before. So again, about your home and the sterility in that home. So there is a need to change home, or there's a need to change vacations, or there's a need to change where you're going. There's a physical need to move because of the sterility. The stagnation indicates that something will happen if you don't move, right? So if you're sterile and you're stuck, if you wait, and you can wait years maybe being sterile and stuck, but what happens when your higher power comes down and says, it's time to move, well, and you don't, then they force you to move, right? So there's a situation that occurs, your angels, your committee, your angelic committee of helpers come down and help you move, and that could be like you lose your job, your landlord kicks you out, you suddenly get a message saying your mother's, whatever, and you need to do something right away and act, and that's kind of, you're surprised by it, that's surprising because you weren't expecting it. However, that is how it works, and that's how it happens a lot to a lot of my clients and myself. So, if you like what you hear and you would like a private session, I do offer private sessions. Please visit my website, which is in the description of this channel, or the description of this video. And I also do energetic healings, quantum healing and shifting of karmic blocks and chakra alignments, so that you can flow faster, manifest better, and manifest wealth and abundance and happiness as well in your life. So I'm drawing several draws because I'm not happy with what I'm receiving, but that is life, right? So when you receive lemons, make lemonade. So again, it seems that there's another tower moment here. There's another betrayal moment. You've been betrayed by something at home. And I don't know what that is, but it seems that it's surrounding your house or your living arrangements, or perhaps what makes you feel happy. And that betrayal is in the past. It's occurred. It's already happened. It's not going to happen again, as far as this is describing it. It's here. This is your betrayal moment. And so, and the betrayal was matched with meanness. So someone was being super mean to you and they decided to betray you. So it's funny how that goes hand in hand. I'm going to betray you, but that's not enough. I'm also going to be super mean to you. And, it hurts. It hurts like terribly, but you have to laugh at it because your power is independence, is being independent of whoever has betrayed you. They're only betraying you because you depended on them, or you had some kind of agreement that you depended on. And as soon as you depend on people, well, then you give them the opportunity to betray you, right? So that is why I am laughing. That is the joke of life, and the reason why we want to become independent. So there is no such thing as assisted independence, right? Independence is only by yourself. You're only by yourself. So the meanness that is there, but people don't have to be betraying you and be mean at the same time. And this is what is being mentioned here, is that someone not only was betrayed the contract or betrayed your trust or betrayed you, they also were super mean to you. So that you are wise beyond your years. So the wisdom that comes from this lesson, you have learned, right? So you've learned your lesson. Perhaps you have to swallow the betrayal, or you have to let it go in some way in order to move on. Because the more you focus on the negative aspects of life, the more those negative aspects augment. So if you focus on the positive aspects of life, the more those positive aspects augment. That's how the tool of life works. So you are going to be actually quite happy with the situation that you've been betrayed through. Maybe it was meant to be, right? And I don't know why I said that exactly, but I think that there's going to be pleasure that derives from this betrayal. So somehow you defended yourself. Perhaps you needed to learn to defend yourself properly. And that this was a karmic lesson, and that needed to go through and happen in the way that it did, so that you would then be able to move on to the next lesson of your soul calling or your soul journey. And the end of this lesson, the conclusion of the lesson, is pleasure. So you're going to be actually quite happy that you were betrayed and that this person was mean, because you needed to get them off your back, right? You need to get rid of this situation in order to move on to something else. That your blockage, then remember that in the last draw, we had a blockage and a sterility, and the sterility is still here. The blockage is still here in your home. So perhaps some landlord broke his lease. Perhaps a buyer of your property fell through. Perhaps you were buying a property and it fell through. But this was maybe meant to be because it was dirty. There was something unwholesome about what you were trying to do. Now, following on with that is you have a situation around work. Perhaps you own a company, or you are your own self-employed person, or perhaps you're retired, or you own investments of some kind. It could also do with medicine, so you could be around your health. This particular card, which is the caduceus here, it's the card of Mercury, and the traffic card, it's called. The traffic card is the caduceus symbol and the Mercury's helmet. Mercury being the messenger of the gods, and the caduceus being health, but also it's a symbol of corporate work, of corporations, of business, of commerce, right, is the word I'm looking for. And so you could own a company, and there seems to be a kind of explosion around that, but with honor. So, and it could have been a company that was going bust or bankrupt, or some situation was going wrong, or not going well at all. Again, the sterility at the top of the game. So there's a sudden honor that comes towards you. And let's draw on this honor. Let's draw on this honor. Let's move these up so that we have some space to draw on the honor. Sorry, this goes left. Right, left, up and down. And so again, about the commerce and the work. Okay, upside down. Fine, we'll take the upside down one. And so what happens is that around work, around your, it could be money, career, finances, work, ownership, commerce, and anything to do with you know, that kind of thing, there seems to be a lucky occurrence, and it upside down. So perhaps there was gossiping around you, or you have employees and they were gossiping, or you were part of it. You know, there was a kind of rumor mill being hashed out against you, and this is now reversed. So there seems to be a lucky change occurring for you in work. And it could be it could be the people surrounding you saying, oh, perhaps you're out of work, and everyone's talking about it. It's like Ron's out of work, or whoever's out of work and they need to find a job, not do YouTube videos all day. And it's like, and that's very possible, right? So they could be saying, okay, well, he needs to find a job. Why isn't he finding a job? Well, you know, suddenly you're going to receive news. So there's a sudden news around your work. And it seems to be very positive. Yeah, here we go. There's the God card on top of that. So this is the best card of the game. It's the most protective card of the game. It protects you. You are protected. If you're out of work, you will find work. If you've had a problem with your personal business, it's going to go okay. It's going to get smoothed out and you're going to receive an honor. If you are in work and there's a problem at work with your bosses or with rumors, this is going to get sorted out. Right? So that this seems to be, you know, if there's been delays in payment, I mean, it doesn't talk about money per se, but it talks about the relationships that you have and what might be happening around you. So this is very actually positive, because it looks like you've come out of a dark spot in your life where you've been betrayed, where you've had meanness applied to you, and you're going to come out on top with this particular situation and quite happy that you got rid of this problem. There's a sudden kind of honor being given to a company or a situation that is in ruin. So you could have been given a notice period, or you could have received a kind of like, you know, we're going to take you to court kind of problem because you haven't done a payment, or you haven't, you've made a legal problem, or you've done something like that. And this is an honor that's arriving. So a judgment perhaps in your favor, or the boss judges you to not be the cause of the problem. You know, life or death with bosses. And then after that, though, you're not satisfied with this betrayal, you're not satisfied with this kind of, you know, behavior in your life, and you're just like, you just want to get rid of it. This is terrible. And you receive, maybe you've been applying for other work and you receive news that you've been expecting. It could have taken you a very long time to get to this spot. It can take years to find the right job. So congratulations if you do that. If you receive it in the next couple of weeks, news of a contract, or news that you are being picked to do a certain job that you've wanted to do, that is really, really lucky for you. And you know, I bless you that you've been able to hold on and find that solution in your life, because it's not easy. And so in today's world, and I don't think in any time frame continuum. Okay, we're going to now perform a Rider deck, or Rider Waite deck tarot session. And this is a longer deck. It's the minor and major arcana of the tarot, of the Rider Waite. And sorry, I'm just breathing because I feel the energy is heavy. There's a message coming through. And it could be, you know, when I say I'm connected to your higher self, I may have recorded this weeks before you see it, months before you even see it, and it's still meant for you. Your higher power knows when things will happen, before and after, and there is no time frame continuum or in the quantum realm. So it's in the quantum realm, and it's deciding what messages to be downloaded. So if it does resonate, please do leave a comment and subscribe. The channel needs your help to grow and to be shared. So the Queen of Cups is coming out. The Page of Swords. And the Four of Swords. And in the, if we move this here, let's do the Celtic cross. Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is your past, your present, your possible future, you in the environment of the future, your negative energies against you in the future, your positive energies, or what is for you in the future, the outcome. Okay, let's go. So, let's turn the cards over. And I do it this way so that I am not influenced by what I see while I'm picking the cards for you. Oh, and I need one more. Miscounted. Okay. To the 8 of Swords. That's 7 of Swords, sorry. And there's quite a few swords in this game. And the swords do indicate a mental shift. As is at the very beginning, the Queen of Cups. So if you are the Queen of Cups, whether you're man or female, has no bearing on the situation. The Queen of Cups has a, a cup that has got a lid on it. So she's holding her resources and she's holding them in her hand, right? So they're not lying around her as they would be in other cup cards. This queen is in charge. So she's not only in charge, she's also holding onto her resources, and she's not just holding onto them, she's captain. She's, so it's a card of someone who's in control, who is a feminine energy, and who also has the ability to say stop. I don't want to give any more energy to this situation, and she holds back the manifestation or benefit to other people. But she's also a leader, and a lot of leaders need to sometimes hold back or cut or make changes in those kind of ways. So this is an interesting development, and the Page of Swords is the beginning of a new venture, or the very, very beginning of a new venture. Specifically, it's got to do with internal changes that are being made, or the beginning of a new cycle internally in terms of development, growth, and attainment. It could also mean, that certain things need to be protected. It is not a card of conflict at this point, but it's someone who's kind of holding back, not allowing things to influence them more than they should. And then after that, the Four of Swords is a card of rest. You're burnt out, right? So perhaps it could be that you have been given an asset to manage, and you are taking up the gauntlet, and for example in work, and but you finally reach this point and you're now burnt out, and you need to take some time off because it's the halfway point of the year, or June, July is upon us, and a lot of people take vacations at this point with children, without children, with family, or without family, because it's not only nice weather, but because it's the halfway point of the year. It's a solstice, the summer solstice and the winter solstice, of the 2 points of the year where we normally try to take some time off and rest and recuperate and regenerate our feelings and our emotions and our physical and our mentality and our psychology and our spiritual. And so that is indicated that this is absolutely required of you. You need to take a rest. And whatever it is that's going to be offered and whatever it is that you're going to accept to do next in your work environment or in your life environment, you need to take a rest. So even if money is short or finances are limited, you can find a way to get yourself invited somewhere, meet a friend, go with them, split the costs, do something that, or just staycation, staycation at home where you turn off the phone, you turn off everything, and you just relax at home, if it's possible, and if you have that ability, and if you don't, then I wish you and bless you, and I hope that you do find a way to regenerate yourself, because that's what is required in this game. And you've had a rough go, you've had a rough moment in your life, so this is not just a bad game, though. It says that you're getting something, right? You're receiving an asset, but you have to hold on to it super tightly and super carefully. You don't want this asset to fly away, and so you have to defend it, and you have to be careful. So in the past, you've had the Six of Swords, and this indicates that you've had a loss. Again, the loss, and you need to move away from this loss mentally. Not just physically, but mentally. The betrayal perhaps was like, it broke your heart. Perhaps it broke your heart. Perhaps it was, you were betrayed by a family member that was so important to you that actually, it took you a year, sent you in depression, and it took you a year to get over it. And that's very possible. However, you in the environment of the present now, what was about to happen is that you're the Knight of Pentacles. You're in charge of something. And you are, you're in charge of something financial, and you need to manage it correctly. That this financial benefit that you're about to receive is, or you have received, needs to be your care and attention, and it needs attention. You cannot afford to be depressed when you're managing something, right? You cannot afford to lose anymore, to let your mentality slide. You need consistency. You need to wake up at the same time. You need to go out and work out, and you need endorphins, and you need sunlight and vitamin D and all of those things to kind of feel healthy enough to manage and take care of whatever it is that's being granted to you, to have the energy to take care of it. So in the very possible near future, you have this marriage card, or it's not a marriage card. It's a I have achieved card, and I look upon. Sorry, I look because I was looking at the Pentacles, and if it's three of Pentacles, it would be a marriage card. But it's the three of Bastone, the three of Wands, indicates the beginnings of a new venture and the beginnings of a new cycle of development in your work and life areas. And there's a Two of Pentacles right next to it. So a financial choice will have to be made. A financial choice that could spin into a wealth and fortune choice. And then right after that, another choice, another Two of Swords. And this is an emotional choice, right? So this is a physical, financial, materialistic choice. And this is a psychological, spiritual choice that needs to be made at the same time. And perhaps when you make the financial choice, it will lead to the spiritual choice. Of great stability. Perhaps you need to accept the work and job and the money that you need, and you should stop being a victim to your own sacrifice. If you understand what I mean, if you know what I'm talking about, you understand immediately. If you're sacrificing because, let's say, you are a giver, and you're watching this channel and you're giving, and nothing is coming back, nothing is being given back to you, then you've given too much, and you need to stop and block your resources, and you need to defend yourself, and you need to take a regeneration. Because what's happening is that you're being given an actual physical materialistic resource to manage, and this is opening up a whole new vista of cyclical development. And the new vista is going to say, well, okay, now here's some money that you're going to get every month. And what are you going to do with that? Are you going to spend it on vacations, or are you going to donate it to the church or your your charity of choice? Or are you going to save it up and buy yourself a home because you deserve it? And then the choice comes that says, are you going to also realize that when you save that money for your own home and you buy yourself a home and give yourself that stability, the stability of the Eight of Wands, if you give yourself that stability, then that does not mean that you're spiritually bankrupt. It means you're growing spiritually. It means that you're actually moving to the next level spiritually, that you're no longer a victim of your sacrifice, and that you've learned your life lesson, you've learned your karmic lesson, and you've moved on. And so the great stability arises from these choices, because you're no longer flitting around making silly choices like giving everything away, and your resources are being managed correctly. And if you're really Taurus, a Taurus rising, a Taurus sun or moon, then you know what I mean. You know, Taurus is a card of grounding, and is a sign of grounded, of investors, of money, of manifestation on earth. And so you need to be stable in order to do those things. You need to have both feet on the ground. And there's no fantasy around it. It's all very clear. So what happens then is the stability helps you, and this is the Queen of Cups and this is the Queen of Swords, so that it helps you become the Queen of Swords, someone who takes no BS at all, in charge. And so there seems to be not only a new job offer, but a progression in terms of career. So several promotions are on the horizon with this new career. So you should choose to accept whatever is going to be given, because you're going to end up in a situation where you are in charge of your own destiny, right? And of course, so the end is the seven. Is it the 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Can't see it without glasses. Or 8? Is it the 8? Someone help me. Is this the 8 or the 7? It's the 7. Thank you. It's this. The 7 of Swords is a win for you. It is a win, but it's only half the battle. The battle continues, or the war. You do win here. You are winning. However, and you are now in a position of strength, but you're being promoted because there's a continuous effort that needs to be made in the areas that you're going in. And if I was to give you a bonus card, it would be Judgment. So the Major Arcana Judgment card, this is meant to be, you are supposed to be elevated to a higher standard. And you cannot elevate without having both feet on the ground and having your foundations really firm. So they're giving you the possibility here of choosing to become firm and foundation in your foundations. And you should accept it, because that will allow you to then grow to higher heights. And the reason why you should grow to higher heights is because we need you. The people around you need you to grow, need you to become stronger, need you to be the one to wield the sword in judgment, to be the judge and executioner, or to be the judge and the giver, depending, but not just giving without having anything coming back. So the judgment is really in your favor. The dead rise to life again, and all money, financial problems will cyclically end. The choice is yours to start again if you want to have more problems, right? So if you want to continue, for example, you pay off all your debts, and then because you receive a sign-on bonus, and then you get in debt again because you didn't cut up your credit cards. Or if you get a mortgage, that's good debt if it's associated to a house, and you pay your house off, and that's it. But it's bad debt if you don't, if you pay off credit cards, right? So that's it. It's learn about money, learn about being foundationally secure. But whatever is going to happen next is that it's meant to be. It's a judgment in your favor. If you're stuck in legal proceedings, then this is a judgment in your favor. If you've been trying to get a great job, then this is a judgment in your favor. If you've been having difficulties at home, difficulties with your partner, difficulties with your children, difficulties with bill payments, this is a judgment in your favor. This is a positive progression. All of this is positive in terms of you're moving up in the world. We want you to move up in the world. You need to have this foundation, and you just need to accept it. You need to see that this is your choice, that nobody can do this without you, that you are the only person that can do this, and you choose to either become who we would like you to be, or you choose not to be, and then stay exactly the way where you are until there's an explosion of some kind, because your higher self decides that it's time for you to move on. Okay, I'm very happy and grateful that you've been able to join me this far. Please subscribe to the channel if you like it. I'd like to close off the session by saying thank you to and saluting your Christos avatar self and my Christos avatar self. This session is now closed, and it is closed in the best way possible for your higher self now. But your continuing protection is going with you, and you are continually protected as you move forward through the world. Your golden circle of protection is repelling all discordant thoughts, persons, places, and things that are not meant to be, or that seek to intrude and disrupt your world from now on. Tae Jantadoa. Okay, thank you. Namaste.